Let's talk about making sales on KDP. So if you're struggling to make sales, this video is for you. My name's Jace Perry. I help people create KDP books that actually sell. Okay, it's no easy task in this market, I'm not going to lie. Just a bit of background about me which ties into this video nicely. I'm making sales on a new account now. I'm actually banned from KDP because I've had multiple accounts. I've had in control over 10 accounts. I'm on my 11th or 12th. I'm literally banned from KDP. They don't want me on there anymore, but using my various ninja skills, I'm back on, and it's only because I want to test out strategies. So the stuff that I'm teaching you guys, my followers and my students, is relevant in this market, and it's a good thing as well, because when I started back in 2018, completely different market. When I started again, like properly in 2023, it's a completely different market to now. And that was only like 3 years ago. Things are changing fast. You need to be on top of what's working in this market in order to make money selling books. So if you're struggling to sell books, it's probably because you don't know a few details, which I'm going to share with you now. So let's get started. So how do you create a book right now in this market to make sales? Let me just show you one that I've done recently. This is a new book. Now, I use my this account, KDP accounts, under my friend's name, which is on a completely separate laptop, which is under a different VPN, which I use outside of this house, not even on the Wi-Fi. That's how paranoid I am that KDP will take that account for me. So I can't actually show you the royalties in real time. I wish I could, but I can show you the ads account because I'm given permission to use the ads on that account. So I can show you this bit. Now, I don't know if this book's selling organically yet. I haven't had a chance to check, but it has made 2 sales very, very quickly. You can see around here, went live around the 5th or 6th of February. I started running ads straight away. And mind you, there's only one set of ads here, just auto ads on. I'll get into that in a minute. And it had 1 click here. It had 1 click and a sell. So within 2 clicks, it got a sell. And I'll run over how I managed to do this in a minute as well, so don't worry. And then it had another 7-10 clicks, unfortunately no sell, but then it took a sell yesterday, 3 clicks, or today in American time, 3 clicks and a sell. So far the conversion rate is good, and I'll go over that in a minute. So you might be looking at this thinking, hold up, Jace, you spent $17 just for 2 sales on a $14.97 book, which is about $6 royalty. So I've spent $17 to make $12 in profit. To some people, this won't make sense, but this is all part of the plan in order to get sales fast. Now let's go over this real quick. Okay, I've got my trusty iPad here, and I need a coffee for this. I was up at 2 a.m. this morning, and I don't know about you. If you ever get up at that time, do you ever manage to go back to sleep? I don't, because it's roasting hot here in Mauritius. So I was up. I woke up because I was just dripping in sweat. Once I'm up at that time, I can't go back to sleep. So what do? I just get up and work. So I've been working since 2:30 a.m. I worked till about 5:30 a.m. So I did a good 3 hours before my son woke up. Now I'm back working. So I'm running on literally coffee right now. But anyway, that's my life story for you. So you're struggling to make sales, or you haven't got a book that sells, or you want to know how to sell a book fast like I do. Here's what we do. I covered this in my other video, but I need to show you again because I was thinking about the simplest way of showing this to you to make it run. Need more coffee. To make it hit home hard, as simple as possible. This is your book. It will all make sense. Okay, just think this is a pyramid, right? What's the most important part of building a pyramid? It's the foundation. Okay, the niche. The niche is the customer. Just think of the niche as a customer. Now, you know, we tend to throw around the word niche a lot. Niche this, niche that. But just think of it as a customer. All right? At one point, you were the niche when you were buying a book. And when you start thinking of it like that, if you think of the last book you bought, why did you buy it? Okay? When you start thinking of your book like that, there's an actual person that's going to see it, and they're going to decide at that time to buy your book. It changes things a bit. You start thinking of your book as how can I convince that customer? Not, okay, this is just a niche, let me create a book in this niche because there's people buying books in this niche. No, you think, how can I convince that person? It's a person you're talking to. So always, whatever niche or whatever book you're about to do or going to do, just think truthfully, ask yourself, if you were the customer for that book, would you actually buy it? Now, the more honest you are with this question, the better you'll do on KDP. Because a lot of the time, it's no. I published about 3,000 books on my first account. 99.9% of them I would never buy. But I didn't think of it like that. I was thinking, I want to make money. Let me just put loads of books out there. I was never thinking, would I actually buy that book? The change came when I decided to create a goal setting book for myself. Because I was heavy into goal setting. I couldn't find a journal that was big on action. I'm an action man. I like just a bit of goal setting, like literally a minute, and then the rest of it action. I couldn't find a journal like that. So I created my own goal setting journal. It's for men. Goal setting journal for action men, like action orientated goal setting journal. Was it? I can't remember the title exactly, but it was something like that. I bought it myself. So I guess that kind of ranked it on Amazon.co.uk, mind you. It started selling in America because that journal was actually useful and I could actually use it. Now, here's the thing. I did about 3 or 4 versions of that journal, ordered it to myself and had a look at it. And the first 2 to 3 copies of it was rubbish. Like, because you don't realize the sizes. Like, when the journal comes, I put like spaces between the lines because it looked right on the page. But when it came to me, the spaces were either too big or too small. Like, and either way, it didn't look right. It was only when I got it right on the 3rd or 4th attempt. And then I bought it and I thought, this one's good. And then lo and behold, it started selling and it got good reviews. Because I was the customer, I was the niche, the book was good enough for me, so the book's good enough for someone else. It's very important. When you think of niche, think of a human being customer, think of that person. Is the book good enough for that person to buy? Would you actually buy it if you were that person? Right. So, you're thinking of the customer, you got the customer, always pick a niche where there's money. Now, it's very simple to do. You only have to see what else is selling out there and see if you can do a version of that book yourself. It's as simple as that. We don't need to overcomplicate it. I know there's software out there that tells you about certain keywords. Are they in demand? Are they... is this a good range of BSR, etc., etc. Now, I never done any of that. I just found, because my style was find a niche that's good, that you're going to stick to, and then just good at creating books for that customer. Okay, so once you pick a customer, stick to that customer, like, I was going to say fly, I was going to swear. Stick to that customer, like, you know, stick to them, and you just get good at selling to that customer. Because if that niche has enough money, right, if you know there's books selling there, and the way you can tell that is just 50,000 BSR or below, 1+ books. So if there's one or more books selling at 50,000 BSR, that's a good enough niche to stick to. That niche can make you like $1,000 at least. Okay, if there's one book selling that, we know that there's people buying these types of books, that your customer is spending that much money buying the sort of books that you're going to be doing. So there's no reason to move. Right? You want to stick to it until you've made at least $1,000, because by then you'll know how to create a book that sells to a specific customer. So that's the way I do niche research. Very, very simple. Because the hard bit is the working out how to sell the book, and that requires volume. So just on the side target, I mean, this wasn't part of the video. To be honest, I just kind of, my videos are raw and uncut. I just kind of go with the flow, to be honest. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I'll bring it back home in a minute, don't worry. By the way, subscribe if you want raw, uncut, honest, how to make money on KDP videos. Right, so, where was I? So, God, I've lost my trail of thought now. Right, so I was saying you only need to stick to one customer. You can just sell books to that one customer, Oh gosh, I've lost it. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's look back at the pyramid. So once you've got the niche, the foundation, okay, you got that good. The next thing is the title. Now, most people overlook the title. Make sure you spend a lot of time on the title. Okay, the title is not only going to sell your book, but the title will be the test for every single book you do. So, if you think you're going to stick to one customer, we want to try every single angle we can at this one customer. That comes in the form of titles. Okay, so just say, I'll do it in a different color here. Just say your customer is me. Just say dads, men, like personal development, and you're doing a journal on goal setting or something like that. Okay, so you want me to buy your book. So you do a title, goal setting for men. Very generic title. I might see that and think, oh, that's the usual goal setting, but I'm not going to buy that. Your book might sell, might not, but you don't get loads of money for it. So you're going to try another book, right? So instead, you're going to do goal setting, setting for dads. So you do it for dads. Again, I see it boring. I'm not going to buy that. Then you might try something crazy like a bit more. You've tried 2 titles now at the same customer. Then you might try something like Smash Your Life. Smash Your Life. Something like a motivational thing. That's a pretty bad title, to be honest. But something where you're giving like the see, this is what happens when you've been up since 2:30 a.m. Bloody mind's like everything's leaving me, and I do apologise. So something like goal getter, something where it's a bit more interesting as a title, and so high performance dad or something like high performance dad. Now I might look at that and think, you know what, that's decent, I'm going to buy that. Now here's the thing, your interior, inside of your book will be pretty much the same. You don't need to do too much of the inside, because a goal setting journal is a goal setting journal. It's going to get the job done, right? It's not, but you can see now my mind, the thinking, and the same with you when you're buying stuff. The thought process comes from the title. You're looking at it and think, yeah, I like that because of the title, okay? So this is why you need to think through the title. And I cover titles in extensive lessons in my course. Click the link below if you want to check it out, because it's very, very important to sell the book. And I hope I've demonstrated that as much as I can with my half sleepy mind going everywhere. I hope I've kind of demonstrated. But think about when you're buying books, you look at the title, okay? Now, here's another element to add to this. Gifts. Now, just say, I don't know, my brother wants to buy me a book. He knows I'm a dad, I'm a man, I'm into personal development. He wants to buy a book. He looks at these titles. Boring, not really giftable. High performer dad. Goal setting journal for high performing dads. He's more likely to buy something like that. Why? Because it's a gift. Now it's a giftable title, because it's almost like a compliment. And when people buy journals and books as a gift, the way I see it is almost like a card. You know when you buy someone a congratulations card, even a birthday card when it's got a funny message on the front, it's the front, isn't it? Like, who reads the inside of a birthday card? Unless you got money in there. When you're little, all you normally do was open it, look for money, and then you barely read it. I mean, who's going to read it? Most of the times it just says, to Jace from John. No one really reads it. The front of the card now, everyone reads the front of the card, just like your book. Everyone's going to read the front of the book. So if you make it giftable, someone may buy it as a gift for someone else just based on the title. And that's how I made a lot of money selling on KDP, like $12,000 in 1 month from one book, because the title was very giftable, because people were buying it for other people just on the title. So that's the power of title. That's why I go over this in so much detail. So many self-publishers get this wrong. They do fancy titles that don't mean anything. They do boring titles. They do generic titles. They're not thinking about the customer. Think about the customer. Okay. By the way, I still can't remember where I was off here. I'm going to watch this video back after and think, that's where I was going. But anyway, leave a bit of mystery around my videos. The next thing is the cover. Now the cover is very important to sell your design. Sell your book. Now the cover's got one job. Can you think of what job the cover is? Can you think of what job the cover has? One important job, and that is to show title as best as possible. That's it. Okay. If your cover design, like once you've got your title, High Performer Dad, if your cover design doesn't show it in the best way, it's a wasted cover. Right? The only job of the cover is to show the title in the best way possible. And you think you've got maybe like 1 second. You've got a split second to show that title so the potential customer gets it like that, okay, while they're scrolling. That's the only job of the cover. And one of my rules is make sure the typography is on point, because there's nothing better, nothing's going to sell your title better than interesting typography. Not fancy, nothing too crazy. You got to be able to read it, just interesting, just not your usual over-the-counter free Canva font that every motherfucker is using, every average Joe is using. I see this so many times. It's amazing how many self-publishers miss this. But just even if you can't pay for AI to do your typography, you could still make it interesting using Canva. One of the tricks I was doing was I'd take a bog standard font that everyone got, but I wouldn't just put one word there. I'd do letter by letter, arrange the letters, rotate the letters, move them around a little bit, just to make it a little bit interesting. Always keeping in mind that it has to be read clearly at thumbnail size, but just those little details. It's amazing the difference that makes when someone's scrolling and they're just seeing the same old types of fonts, and then your one pops out of them and it's got a great title. That's the impulse buy there. That's an order right there. That's how you sell a book on KDP, okay? And those are the three main things that you need to cover in order to sell a book on KDP. Now there's two other things that I'm just going to quickly go into before we wrap this up, is the inside of the book. Now, a lot of sellers get stuck on the inside of the book because they're worried that if the inside of the book's not in depth enough, not got every single thing they need, they're worried they're going to get bad reviews. Well, there's two things to that. One thing is most people don't read the book. My coaches told me once that most people only read the first chapter or barely read the book, which is kind of true. I remember back in UK, I had like nearly 1,000 books. I'm quite an avid reader actually. I collected a lot of books, a lot of personal development, and I would literally buy on the title. If the title sounded good, I would buy on it, and then it would end up on my shelf. And sometimes I wouldn't even. Sometimes I'd buy the same book twice because I'd buy it, put it in the shelf, and then I forget I had it. So I'd buy another one. It's crazy, right? But I'm sure a lot of people do this. And the ones that I did read, I'd read like the first chapter, and I kind of get it, and then think, okay, I'm gonna do that. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. But obviously, there's people out there that will read your book. Most people won't, I think, but don't. My point is, don't get too hung up on the interior. You want to do a good job, right? You don't want to put a load of AI crap in there or complete rubbish, right? But you do want to like get the job done. Okay. If your book is amazing trivia for kids, then just make sure there's amazing trivia in there. You don't even got to go crazy on the trivia. Just make sure that it does the job that the cover, the title say. Okay, but don't get too hung up on the interior. You can see in the pyramid of how well a book sells, it's not really that high up. Okay, and the last thing, but it's not really like I put ads here. Ads isn't unimportant, like because I put it at the top. It's not unimportant. It kind of runs through everything here because you won't make sales. Like it'd be very hard to make sales if you don't run ads. It's going to take a lot of time. Like that was the case back in 2019, okay, when I was uploading journals and they would just sell like that. Now you need like ads to get yourself in front of all the other sellers, okay? But the beauty of the thing is, ads doesn't need to be complicated at all. And this book here that sold like almost immediately, literally auto ads, 83 cents clicks, $100 a day budget. Okay, now before you like get scared or shit your pants or whatever, $100 that you're not going to spend $100 a day. Look, this has been running for what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, about 11 days, right? And look at the total I've spent, $17, right? It's not going to spend $100. The only time I've seen it spend that much was coming up to Christmas, and my book was BSR like 800 or something. It's ridiculously low BSR. If you don't know, that book was selling like crazy, like 1 to 2 grand profit a day. That's when I started spending over $100. I think the most I spent was like $300 in a day. You're only going to get that. And if you ever get in that position when you're in that, you're going to be laughing and increasing the budget anyway, because your book will literally be printing you money. And I hope you get there as well. Okay, but for now, you can put $100 a day. My coaches told me to do this. All you're doing is telling Amazon that you're willing to spend it, even though you're not. But it just apparently helps your ads run quicker. So you get more clicks faster, get more impressions faster, because Amazon sees you as someone that's a bit more serious. Okay, but that was it. Let me just summarize that here. The ads is 80. I did 83 cents auto ad, just to go super aggressive because I wanted to get sales fast, and $100 a day. Now, the ads won't work unless all these are in place. In fact, it definitely is from the bottom down. Now, from experience, I know if you get the niche right, if you're in a good niche where there's like high demand and there's books selling at the price you put it at, then the ads flow a lot better. Like my one there, like you'll make sales a lot easier. That's why I've made like 2 sales already in 20 clicks. It's making a sale every 10 clicks, which is decent. 1 sale every 10 clicks is where you want to be, really. Okay, and that's why I was saying about the cost. See, I'm not looking at the cost yet, because I'm willing to spend like $50 on this book just to see if the conversion rate sticks. So the conversion rate is, you want 1 sale every 10 clicks is a good point. It's a good benchmark. 1 sale every 10 clicks. Like, there's more to it, but just as a basic benchmark, if you're getting 1 sale of 10 clicks, there's a good sign there that your book will eventually start taking over organically and making you profit. Right, if you're not getting 1 sale over 10 clicks, 1 sale over 20 clicks, then, I mean, if it's 1 sale over 20 clicks, then you kind of got to go back and revise something, like the cover, maybe even unpublish and do a new title. I covered that in one of my other videos, by the way. Maybe I'll leave a link to it if I work it out. I'll put a link to it here, okay, so you can see it. Okay, so just think in terms of the ads then, is once you get the niches right, then the ads will run smoothly, like 1 sales every 10 clicks, maybe even more. I've had like books where it's made 2-3 sales in 10 clicks, and that's when you know you've nailed the niche title and cover. Everything was spot on. Okay, all right, so that's how you get sales on your KDP account right now. Okay, just think of this pyramid, think of the customer, think of the title, think of the cover. Then when you get all those right and run ads, then you should make a sell almost instantly, like I did there. Okay, my whole system in depth, I'll leave a link to it below if you want to unlock the whole system. And subscribe for more videos on how to make books on KDP that actually sell. My name's Jace Perry, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, laters.